When you first install 4DSales, what you'll see is an empty application. The 4DSales logo will be in the upper right-hand corner on top of a gray background, but there will be no categories and no content. But it's very easy to add this, as most companies provide an archive library for their sales reps to load. Let me show you how that works so that we can load this 4DSales up and have a starting point. The first thing we want to do before we actually start the restore process is we want to go into our iPad settings, and on the left hand side you'll see the general category. We want to tap on that, and then if you look down about 2/3 of the way down, you'll see the auto lock, and mine is currently set to 2 minutes. I'm going to go in and turn that to never. The reason is many archive libraries are fairly sizable, and it may take 10 to 20 minutes to download these, in which case we don't want the iPad to go in a lock mode and go to sleep, because then you'd have to start the restore process again. So I'm going to set it to never. We'll come back when we're done and reset it to 2 minutes. So I've done that. We're all ready to go from that standpoint. I hit the home key again, and the next thing we want to make sure is that we're connected to Wi-Fi. If you look in the upper left-hand corner of your iPad, you'll notice the little Wi-Fi emblem. So I am connected to Wi-Fi. You want to make sure it's a good Wi-Fi connection. I would not recommend using 3G because it's quite a bit slow for a large file download. And I wouldn't even recommend using LTE, because in that case you're going to be, with most carriers, paying a pretty hefty price for a large amount of data that might come down. So in this case I'm connected to Wi-Fi, so we're good to go there. I'm going to go into 4DSales, and we're going to start the restore process by clicking on the gear icon, which is settings, in the lower right hand corner. And then you'll notice in the lower left hand corner, just to the left of where I'm touching, there's a restore library button, and that's what we're going to tap. First thing I'll get is a message letting me know that 4DSales is going to overwrite everything I've got and replace it with what's in the archive. That's great because ours is empty to begin with, so we're going to tap on OK. And if I've never linked 4DSales to Dropbox before, I'll be presented with a window that asks me to link to Dropbox. So I'm going to tap on the Link to Dropbox button. It will bring up a Dropbox dialog and ask me again to make sure I want 4DSales to access my Dropbox account, and I definitely want to do that, so I'm going to tap on Allow. And as soon as I've done that, I now see a Dropbox dialog on the left, and I simply navigate to where the archive library is and select it. In this case, mine is in 4DSales Demo. You'll notice that on this list there's only one item other than a folder that I can pick, and that's the 4DSales Demo.4DSales. That's because that's an archive library. So I'm going to tap on it, and as soon as I do that, I'll be presented with a status message that lets me know that the library is being restored. This is not a great big library. It's about a 60 meg library, so this will go relatively quickly. We're about a quarter of the way done already, as you can see from the status bar. But if you have a much larger library, it's not uncommon to have a library 600 meg, 1 gigabyte, 1.5 gigabytes. Those might take as long as 20 or 30 minutes for the really large archive libraries. But for something that's pretty common with most of our clients, you can probably expect on the order of 10 to 15 minutes. Again, this one is only about 60 meg, and we're about 3/4 of the way done already while I've been talking here. What's happening is it's downloading this archive file, which is somebody else has created for us. It contains the logo, the background, the categories, and all of the content already prepared for us, so we don't have to do anything other than tap the Restore Library button. So now that file has been brought down, and now 4DSales is restoring that library. It's unpacking all the information, and it will momentarily change the complete look and feel of this 4DSales implementation. And now that's actually completed. You'll notice that there's a big green button that says Restore Completed Successfully. Tap to continue. If you've had some kind of a network error, you might have a red button there and you might have to do this again, but the overwhelming majority of the time, if you have a good Wi-Fi connection, you'll get the restore completed. You don't have to watch your iPad. It will stay at this screen when it's done so that you know it's completed successfully. So I'm going to tap on Restore Completed Successfully. I'm done with that, and I'm going to tap on the Done button, and now you'll see that I have a new set of categories, and in each one of those categories is content. So that was all done for me. I didn't have to work through those on my own. Somebody prepared it, and all I did was reload it. So I've got 4DSales ready to go. Let's go do that one final step of going into iPad settings, going back into general, and then to auto lock. We'll set it back to 2 minutes or whatever you had it set at before, and we're all ready to go. And that's how you restore a library to 4DSales. Thanks for taking a moment to watch this video.